Welcome to the world of Wartano, your gateway to the mysterious realms of dark ambient music and the stories that bring them to life. Every time, we uncover the haunting narratives, forgotten places, and enigmatic worlds that inspire these immersive soundscapes. Join me as we explore the depths of sound and story, where music becomes a portal to the unknown.
Okay, picture this. A spaceship, seemingly untouched, but utterly silent, drifting around a dying star. The chilling image, right? That's the ghost ship Derelict, and today we're diving deep into its story. Plus, we'll introduce you to some music that perfectly captures the ship's eerie vibe.
What's fascinating about the ghost ship Derelict is that it's a story rooted in reality but steeped in speculation. We know it was a cutting-edge exploration vessel, the pinnacle of its time, sent on a mission to study a dying star.
And then, silence. No distress signals, no final message, no clues, it just went dark.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so unsettling, so ripe for speculation. Was it a catastrophic mechanical failure, some unforeseen hazard of deep space, or perhaps something more unusual?
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. The sources we're diving into today bring up some truly mind-bending possibilities.
Indeed. One theory suggests the possibility of an encounter with an unknown alien intelligence. Now, this is where things get a bit speculative, but imagine a civilization so advanced that their technology might seem like magic to us. Could they have played a role in the ghost ship's disappearance?
Yeah, it's definitely food for thought, especially considering we're talking about a ship exploring the very limits of known space. But it gets even weirder, right? Some sources suggest the ship's fate might be tied to something even more profound, something affecting the fabric of space-time near that dying star.
Yes, the term liminal space between dimensions appears in one of the sources. While this is incredibly speculative, it raises some interesting questions about the nature of reality and the limits of our understanding.
So we've got this derelict spaceship, a dying star, and the possibility of interdimensional weirdness. Honestly, this is why I love what we do.
It certainly captures the imagination, but let's not forget about the ship itself. The descriptions of its current state are incredibly evocative. Imagine, if you will, a once majestic vessel, now a crumbling shadow of its former glory.
Give us the details. Paint us a picture. What would it be like to actually stand on board this ship?
Imagine the hull, scarred by radiation and pockmarked by micrometeoroids, creaks and groans with the weight of its eons-long drift. The control panels, once a symphony of light and information, flicker erratically, their screens filled with garbled data or just chilling emptiness. Dust coats every surface, evidence of the ceaseless passage of time. The only sounds are the groan of metal and the whisper of solar winds, a constant reminder of the ship's isolation.
It's that juxtaposition of past and present that really gets me.
Yeah.
This beacon of human ingenuity, now just a drifting tomb, seemingly forgotten by time.
Precisely. And you know, that brings us to another fascinating aspect of this whole story. The music it's inspired. The ghost ship Derelict, with all its mystery and melancholy, has actually become a muse for artists, particularly musicians.
You're talking about that dark ambient track we mentioned earlier, right? The one also called the ghost ship Derelict.
The very same, yeah. It's by an artist named Wartano, who specializes in crafting these incredibly immersive soundscapes.
Okay, so for our listeners who might not be familiar with dark ambient music, can you unpack that a bit? What makes it the right fit for a story like this?
Absolutely. Imagine music that isn't so much about melodies or rhythms, but about atmosphere. Think of it as painting a picture with sound, using things like droning synthesizers, echoing effects, and deep bass lines to evoke specific feelings and images.
So it's less about tapping your foot and more about tapping into a certain mood.
Exactly. And in the case of dark ambient, those moods often revolve around things like isolation, vastness, mystery concepts that align perfectly with the story of the ghost ship Derelict.
Now it's all clicking. You've got the silence of space, the unknown fate of the crew, that lingering sense of unease. Dark ambient just feels like the right soundtrack. So tell me about Wartano's track specifically. What do they do to capture the essence of this derelict spaceship?
Well, Wartano really excels at using sonic textures to create a sense of place. And in the ghost ship Derelict, you can practically feel the coldness of space as you listen. The track opens with these slow, droning synths that stretch out like the emptiness itself. It's minimal, but incredibly effective at establishing that feeling of vast cosmic isolation.
You can almost feel yourself drifting alongside the ship. lost in the void. It's amazing how sound can do that.
Right.
What else did they use to bring this story to life musically?
Well, there are these subtle mechanical echoes woven throughout the track, almost as if you're hearing the creaking of the ship itself, you know? It's a very clever way of grounding the listener in the physical reality of the derelict, even as the droning synths pull you out into the vastness of space.
So we've got the vastness, the isolation, and then that touch of unease. Almost like something isn't quite right on this ship.
Precisely, and that's where Wartono's use of a deep, almost subliminal bass line comes in. It's this ominous presence that underpins the entire track, kind of like that dying star we talked about, exerting its gravitational pull on everything around it.
Okay, now that you mention it, I can practically feel that bass line in my chest. It's subtle, but it adds this whole other layer of depth and, honestly, a touch of fear to the experience. It's incredible how music can tap into those primal fears, isn't it? That sense of awe and terror that the cosmos inspires in us.
Absolutely. And it makes the ghost ship Derelict more than just a piece of music, you know? It's a meditation on our place in the universe, a sonic exploration of the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding.
It's like we're hardwired to be both terrified and utterly captivated by the unknown.
Precisely. And that brings us back to the heart of what makes the ghost ship Derelict itself so compelling. It's a physical representation of that very idea, a tangible symbol of the vastness of space, the fragility of human ambition, and the mysteries we may never fully unravel.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What would it be like to stand on that ship, surrounded by the ghosts of its past, staring out at a dying star? What stories would those corridors whisper if they could speak?
It's a haunting thought, and perhaps that's the point. The ghost ship Derelict serves as a reminder that for all our technological advancements, for all our explorations and discoveries, there will always be enigmas beyond our grasp, secrets the universe chooses to keep.
It's humbling and exhilarating at the same time, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. And while we may never know the true fate of the ghost ship Derelict, the stories we tell about it, the art it inspires, they all speak to something deeply human. Our need to explore, to understand, and to find meaning in the face of the unknown.
Beautifully said. So, for our listeners who are now equally captivated by the ghost ship Derelict, where can they go to experience this haunting track for themselves?
You can find the ghost ship Derelict and more of Wartono's work on their website. We'll be sure to include a link in the show notes.
Perfect. Well, I think we've done a pretty good job of charting the course of the ghost ship Derelict, from its hopeful beginnings as an exploration vessel to its current state as a silent enigma drifting through the cosmos. We explored the known and the unknown, from the ship's advanced technology to the mind-bending theories surrounding its fate, all while accompanied by the evocative soundscapes of dark ambient music. And we've barely scratched the surface. Who knows what other mysteries are still out there, orbiting distant stars just waiting to be discovered. That's the beauty of the universe, isn't it? It's a constant source of wonder, terror, and endless possibilities. Until next time, keep looking up and keep asking questions. You never know what you might find out there in the vast expanse of space.
Thank you for tuning in to the world of Wartono. We truly appreciate you joining us on this journey through dark ambient music and the stories that fuel its creation. Stay curious, and we look forward to exploring more mysterious worlds with you next time. Visit wartono.com for more.